Sloka number 41. शून्यानुसुचेतमदः पतन्तं भ्रात्रे परिताय विदुर्द्रुहेयः निर्यापितो येनाशर्पुर्या अहं सपुत्रान् समानुव्रतेन. O gentle one, I simply lament for him. Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra, who rebelled against his brother after death. By him I was driven out of my own house, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his sons. Vidura did not ask about the welfare of his elder brother because there was no chance of his well being, only news of his gliding down to hell. Vidura was a sincere well wisher of Dhritarashtra, and he had a thought about him in the corner of his heart. He lamented that Dhritarashtra could rebel against the sons of his dead brother Pandu, and that he could drive him, Vidura, out of his own house on the uh, dictations of his crooked sons. In spite of these actions, Vidura never became an enemy of Dhritarashtra but continued to be his well wishers. And at the last stage of Dhritarashtra's life, it was Vidura only who proved to be his real friend. Such is the behavior of a Vaishnava like Vidura. He desired all good even for his enemies. Sloka number 42. So aham harirmatti vidambanena drusonuttam chalayato vidhatuhu nanyopalakshya padaving prasada charami pashyan gatavi shamosh atra. Translation: I am not astonished at this, having traveled once the world without being seen by others. The activities of the personality of Godhead, which are like those of man in this mortal world, are bewildering to others. But I know of his greatness by his grace, and thus I am happy in all respects. Although he was the brother of Dhritarashtra, Vidura was completely different by the grace of Lord Krishna. He was not foolish like his brother, and thus his brother's associations could not influence him. Dhritarashtra and his materialistic sons wanted to falsely lord it over the world by dint of their own strength. The Lord encouraged them in this, and thus they became more and more bewildered. But Vidura wanted to achieve sincere devotional service of the Lord and therefore become a soul absolutely surrendered to the absolute personality of Godhead. He could realize this in the progress of his pilgrim's journey, and thus he was freed from all doubts. He was not at all sorry to be bereft of his heart and home because he now had experienced that dependence on the mercy of the Lord is a greater freedom than so called freedom at home. A person should not be in the renounced order of life unless he is firmly convinced of being protected by the Lord. This stage of life is explained in Bhagavad Gita as Abhayam Sattva Samruddhi. Every living entity is factually completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord, but unless one is in the pure state of existence, he cannot be established in these positions. This stage of dependence is called Sattva Samruddhi or purification of one's existence. The result of such purification is exhibited in fearlessness. A devotee of the Lord, who is called Narayana Para, is never afraid of anything because he is always aware of the fact that the Lord protects him in all circumstances. With these convictions, Bidura traveled alone and he was not seen or recognized by any friends or boy. Thus, he enjoyed freedom of life without obligations to the many duties of the world. When Lord Sri Krishna was personally present in the mortal world in his eternal blissful form of Syam Sundara. Those who were not pure devotee of the Lord could not recognize him or know his glories. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum Asritam, Bhagavad Gita 9.11. He is always wildering to the non devotees, but he is always seen by the devotee by dint of their pure devotional service to him. Slok number 43. Nunam Rupanam Trimadotpathanam Mahing Muhushchalayatam Chamubhi Badhat Prapannarti Jihir Saiso Apyupaikhyatagham Bhagavan Kurunam. Despite his being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, Krishna refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins, and although he saw other kings constantly agitating the earth by their strong military movements carried out under the dictations of three kinds of false pride. Papat. As declared in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord appears in the moral world to execute his much needed missions of killing the miscreants and giving protections to the suffering faithful. In spite of the mission, Lord Krishna tolerated the insult to Draupadi by the Kuru and the injustices perpetrated against the Pandavas as well as insults to himself. The questions may be raised: why did he tolerate such injustices and insults in his presence? Why did he not chastise the Kurus immediately? When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly by the Kuru by their attempts to see her naked in the presence of all, the Lord protected Draupadi by supplying an unlimited length of clothing. But he did not chastise the insulting party immediately. This silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he exhausted the offenses of the Kuru. There were many other kings on earth who had become very proud of three kinds of positions: wealth, education, and followers, and they were constantly agitating the earth by the movements of military strength. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at one time, just to make a shortcut in his killing missions. Godless kings or heads of state, when puffed up by advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of populations, always make a show of military strength and give trouble to the innocent. When Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra. In his manifestation of Vishwarupa, the Lord expressed his missions of killing as follows: I have willingly descended to the earth in my capacity of inexorable time in order to decrease the unwanted population. I shall finish all those who have assembled here except you, the Pandavas. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of war, then O Sambyaschi, just become the immediate cause of this killing of the take the credit. I have already killed all the great warrior Bhishma, Drona, Jadratha, Karna, many other great general. Don't worry. Fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. The Lord always wants to see his devotee as the hero of some episodes which he himself performs. He wanted to see his devotees and friends Arjuna as the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus he waited for all the miscreants of the world to assemble that and nothing else is the explanation of his waiting. Slok number 44. अजस्य जन्मोत्पथनाशनाय कर्माण्यकर्तु ग्रहणाय पुंसं नन्वन्यथा कोहति देहयोगं परो गुणानामुतकर्ता कर्मतन्त्रम्. The appearance of the Lord is manifested for the annihilations of the upstarts. His activities are transcendental and are enacted for the understanding of all persons. Otherwise, since the Lord is transcendental to all material modes, what purpose could he serve by coming to earth? ईश्वर परमकृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह Brahma Samhita 5.1. The form of the Lord is eternal, blissful, and all satisfying. His so-called birth is therefore an appearance only, like a birth of the sun on the horizon. His birth doesn't, like that of the living entities, take place under the influence of material natures and the bondage of the reactions of past deeds. His works and activities are independent pastimes and are not subject to the reactions of material natures. In Bhagavad Gita 4.14, it is said, Namam karmani limpamti नामे कर्म फले सर्फा इतिमं यो जानन्ति कर्मभिर्न सवध्यते. The law of karma enacted by the Supreme Lord for the living entities cannot be applicable to him, nor has the Lord any desire to improve himself. If by activities like those of ordinary living beings, ordinary living beings work for the improvement of their conditional lives, but the Lord is already full of all opulence, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. Why should he desire improvement? No one can excel him in any opulence, and therefore the desire for improvement is absolutely useless for him. One should always discriminate between the activities of the Lord and those of ordinary living beings. Thus, one may come to the right conclusion regarding the Lord's transcendental positions. One who can come to the conclusions of the Lord's transcendence can become a devotee of the Lord and can at once be free from all reactions of past deeds. It is said, Karmani nidhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. The Lord minimizes or nullifies the reactionary influence of the devotee's past deeds. Brahma Samhita 5.54. The activities of the Lord are to be accepted and released by all living entities. His activities are to attract the ordinary man towards the Lord. The Lord always acts in favor of the devotees, and therefore, ordinary men who are fruitive actors or seekers of salvations may be attracted to the Lord when he acts as protector of the devotees. The putative actors can attain their goals by devotional service, and the salvationists can also attain their goal in life by devotional service to the Lord. The devotees do not want the putative results of their work, nor do they want any kind of salvations. They released the glorious superhuman activities of the Lord, such as his lifting over the hill and his killing the demon Putana in infancy. His activities are enacted to attract all kinds of men, karmis, jananis, and bhaktas. Because he is transcendental to all laws of karma, there is no possibility of his accepting a form of maya, as is forced on the ordinary living entities who are bound by the actions and reactions of their own deeds. The secondary purpose of his appearance is to annihilate the upstart asuras and to stop the nonsense of atheistic propaganda by less intelligent persons. By the Lord's causeless mercy, the Asuras who are killed personally by the personality of Godhead get salvations. The meaningful appearance of the Lord is always distinct from ordinary birth. Even the pure devotee have no connections with the material body, and certainly the Lord who appears as he is in his Sachidananda form is not limited by material form. Slok number 45. Tasya prapanna lokapana mavasthitana manushashe nashve arthaya jatasya yadushajasya bhatam sakhe kortayatirthakirtehe. Translation. O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the place of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet he appears by his causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did he appear in the family of his unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. There are innumerable rules all over the universe in different varieties of planets. The sun god is the sun planet, the moon god is the moon planet, Indra is the heavenly planet, Vayu, Varuna, and those in the Brahmaloka planet, where Lord Brahma is living. All are obedient servants of the Lord. Whenever there is any troubles in the administrations of the innumerable planets in different universe, the rules pray for an appearance and the Lord appears. The Bhagavatam 1.3.28 has already confirmed this is the following verse. Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishna tu Bhagavan Swayam Indrai Vaikuntham Lokam Vadayanti Yuge Yuge. In every millenniums, whenever there is any troubles for the obedient rules, the Lord appears. He also appears for the sake of his pure, unalloyed devotees. The surrendered rules and the pure devotees are always strictly under the control of the Lord, and they are never disobedient to the desires of the Lord. The Lord is therefore always attentive to them. The purpose of pilgrimages is to remember the Lord constantly, and therefore the Lord is known as Turthakirti. The purpose of going to place of pilgrimage is to get the chance to glorify the Lord. Even today, although times have changed, there are still pilgrimage sites in India. For example, in Mathura and Vrindavan, where we had a chance to stay, people are awake from early in the morning at 4 a.m. up until night time and are constantly engaged some way or other in chanting the holy glories of the Lord. The beauty of such a pilgrimage site in that automatically one remember the holy glories of the Lord. His name, fame, quality, from past times and entourage are all identical to the Lord. And therefore, chanting the glories of the Lord invokes the personal presence of the Lord. Anytime or anywhere, pure devotees meet and chant the glories of the Lord. The Lord is present without any doubt. It is said by the Lord Himself that He always stays where His pure devotees chant His glories. Thus, and the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the third canto, first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by Vidura. So it's completed. Hare Krishna.